Hello, everyone, and welcome to Yorkshire Tea XP, brewed in the heart of Yorkshire by three play MFL-obsessed managers, Rootcoors, Big Mr. K14, and Bruce Leet. So, before we go any further, we're not pundits, we're not pros, we're just three lads with a shared obsession for progression, tactics, and agency building in play MFL. So each week, we'll look to bring laughs, insights, chaos, and cuppers, tracking our journeys from raw to rare and beyond. Before I go any further, one more thing. This is not financial advice. Please make your own decisions. So, you may have noticed some things a little bit different this week. Some things a little bit different. There's no Root this week. He said he didn't want to do his homework. He said, I've got better things to do, lads. I don't want to do a pod. I'm going to go on holiday with the missus. I'm going to refuse to jump online when I'm away on holiday, even though I've seen so many people in the community still doing the content. But we've got another handsome devil instead. So, welcome, Mr. Kev Herd. How are you doing, sir?
Very good, my man. Thanks for having me on. Honoured to be the first guest on the show.
Yeah, we're very, very pleased to have you. Mr. Tactics himself, as we've got on our notes for tonight's pod. You were the first name that came to the list when we talked about Tactics Corner and maybe looking to get someone on, and I'm very pleased you could join us. Thanks for jumping on.
No, you're welcome, mate. Thanks for having me. And yeah, as for the tactics thing, people like to lie about that, don't they? You know.
We just make it up as we go along anyway. It's all good.
Well, that's it. You know, I think I'm just variance on my side. You know, Lux went my way.
So, what we usually like to start out is we just do a bit of a casual check-in, find out how MFL's been going over the course of the last week, any sort of funny or weird moments, any sort of unexpected wins, any disasters you might have had, any queries over the engine and question marks over your goalkeeper. And yeah, just if you've got a brew, feel free to make your way through it as we get started. So, Bruce, I've not had a chance to throw the ball over to you.
Yes. Proper tea.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kev. You are welcome back on any time, sir. So,
Yeah.
Bruce, I've not given you a
Best
chance
team
to
won.
say hello yet. It's the best one. No
Easily.
other muck.
What tea are you going to drink? Honestly, really?
Yeah. No one
Uh,
does
yeah.
it better.
Hello, I'm here. Excited to have Kev on. I think this is going to be cool. Obviously, yeah, sad Root's not about, but you know he's got his priorities completely wrong with the missus. So you know we've got to get Kevin to come and replace him.
I'd love to meet him as well. Be awesome to see him. So
We'll see if he can be asked to come another time. We'll see if he can be asked to do the pod another time. We'll let you know.
Perfect.
We said we did warn him before when he was saying today, basically, messaging, just let the guy everyone know that I'll be back next week, and we're like, oh yeah, we'll really sugarcoat it, like just how much you're missing us and stuff like that. So he knows full well this is coming.
Perfect. No, it'll be
Excellent.
good to meet him. Hopefully, see him next time.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be back soon. So, Bruce, I'll throw the mic over to you. How has the last week gone for you?
I've had a good week. Pretty good week. That got ruined at about 5:20 today. We will go into that, but it'll lead right into our topic of the week. But other than that, got in the pack drop, tried to get a rare pack. Obviously, they went boom like that instantly, but I waited round till 10:30 to see if I could get a restock. I was sat there F5 in as soon as it hit it, and I managed to get one, and I got myself a nice 83 rated DM. He's 25 years old, but I'm not too fussed about that. That's not so bad. I obviously sent him to you, Mr. K, in your bronze team to play him for the second half of the season for me. So yeah, pretty happy about that. I'm glad the games are back. I didn't start in my main team until yesterday because 11 team Stone League, and I was the unlucky one that didn't get to play, so that was a bit annoying. But other than that, yeah, great week for me. I'm looking forward to get the second half of the season running.
Excellent. I'll go on then, Kev. How's this last week gone for yourself? Has it been a successful week as usual?
Yeah, well, it's been a successful week. I wouldn't say as usual. Well, yeah, I mean, all's going well. Top three in all leagues with all six teams. Got 5 of the 6 teams through, and then sadly one of them went out today. So, but we can get into that later if you like. But
Yeah.
yeah, good week.
Yeah, my Sunday wasn't completely ruined either. I had 2 teams in the cups, bronze team and silver team. One team went out on penalties. To be fair, we were lucky to get that far. We got battered again. And one team managed to go through comfortably, and it should be a nice little payday for the end of the season, which is what I'm all about at this point of the season. So, in terms of, obviously, we've had Pat drop over the last week, they've had the mid-season break. Have anybody sort of done any changes to their agency, done any reinforcements, any of the teams? How are the teams looking? What are the league standings? Anyone want to jump on that one?
Yeah, I can, because there's not much changes, to be honest. I've literally just made 3 small changes to the Spark side, and I loaned in a Lego striker in silver. That was it. So, yeah, virtually 0 changes compared to last season, where I made all 3 changes in all the sides.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I try to overpower my way halfway through the season, a wee bit. But, yeah, so no, not much changes this time.
Did you not get involved in the pack drop?
I did. It was a disaster. Thank you very much.
That's why you weren't saying anything. Okay, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, right enough. It was actually a crap week because of the pack drop. But yeah, no, it was a shambles, mate. I got a rare pack. It was got a decent little left back out of it, but apart from that, yeah, not great. Not great. I can't complain because I've had some decent rare drops and some good pack drops. So yeah, just unfortunately didn't go my way this time. Sounds like you did well though.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with it.
Yeah, I decided rather than packs, I decided to go for investments and go shopping instead because I could see. I've been saying it all season. People, the obviously topic previously has been the market, what the state of it is. Obviously, with a bit of a downtrend, and I viewed that as opportunity to buy. Basically, it's a buyer's market right now. I know where I want to be. I know what sort of rating of player I'm going for now, what sort of players I'm looking for, and I want to be stacking out my bronze and silver agency for next season, so less loans, basically. And as another piece of news, I also binned off one of my clubs. I got rid of my stone team. I wasn't enjoying running them, to be honest. I hadn't really spent any time and focus or energy on it, and I thought, you know what, I could use that and get myself a player, maybe 2. So I just decided to pull the trigger. Why not? I've already made the decision that most likely in the off season I'll probably looking to move on a number of my uncommons because I'm just not really that invested in using them. Still looking after Keto at the moment for Bosco for the season, so I've got a bit of utility there for them, so might as well. Otherwise, I've been loaning them. But yeah, I'm looking at the 80 pluses basically in terms of rares, trying to build out that sort of part of my agency. I was looking at no older than 26, and I've made some interesting buys over the course of the last week. I'll show you a few if you fancy. Give me a moment. Let's see if it's going to play nice.
Just while we're talking about the market, real quickly, because
Go for it.
I've been listening to a few conversations by now of people talking about it, and there's one point that I don't think anyone's like touched on at all that I've heard, and they're saying about will it come back, and I've been thinking like injuries are coming in the game, like at some point they're definitely coming, and when those come, you know, the people like me who are running 17, 18-man squads, that isn't going to be viable anymore at all. And so I think most people are going to have to be running to be safe 22-man squads and then 25-man squads to be extra safe, just in case, you know, your left back gets a red card while the other left back's, you know, injured or something. And so that's like, what? I was thinking at 17, that's an extra 8 players I'm going to have to find if I wanted to go full 25-man. And nobody's thinking about that. The demand isn't there right now. But when injuries do come, the demand for players, because people are going to have to run bigger squads, and no one's touched on that yet. And I was like, there's no one thinking about that. Like, now's the perfect time to buy, because that's what I'm doing now. I'm building out my agency while everything's cheap, so that when that does happen, I can run a 22-man squad comfortably. But no one's touched on it, I've noticed so far.
They've said that injuries are coming.
Yeah.
And with that, probably subs will come as well, like live changes or preset changes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely on my mind. But I've always been a 22 to 25-man squad kind of guy. You know, formational flexibility over progression for me. So, which does affect me. It's absolutely affected my progression over the seasons. But would I have won what I've won without it? No, I don't think so. Just purely having that flexibility to change when I've needed to change.
I think if you run the tighter squads, you've got to have got a real good grasp of how you're going to rotate to be optimal over the season, you have to have been settled on a tactic that, to some degree, is very effective against the majority of formations. Which I know, Bruce, last season you dropped on one last season with that, and you were sort of lent into it, and it was a resounding success, and it's aided you this season. But then, as you said yourself, so far you've been getting a number of red cards this season. I imagine that throws your rotation completely out the window. Then you've got cup runs and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So like when injuries come in, it's just only gonna make it worse. I mean, we don't know how injuries will work, but yeah, just to be safe, all these people who run 80, it's just not going to be viable because you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. Like at some point during the season, you don't want to take the risk, which will bring the demand up for players. So yeah,
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to say something else on that, but no, just totally agree. But yeah, I'd like to think I'm already there in terms of the larger squads. But yeah, it's a great time to buy, though. Let's be honest.
100%.
Oh yeah, this is where I'm going to go on to now. Because last week I picked this chap up during the during the podcast recording, because I don't know what we were looking for. I was making a point and saw him. I thought, I was keeping an eye on you, and I think I picked him up for in the end, which I thought 38, absolutely fine for 80. I actually got chatting to this chap quite a bit on Discord. He's a really nice chap. This was the big one. Saw him. I've kept an eye on him for ages, watching his price. Was going back and forth with the manager who was looking to sell. I just love the makeup of the player. He's got the stats in the right areas for me. If you're going to critique, maybe a bit of physicality in his pace are the two obvious standouts there for the sort of role he'll play. But I was very happy with that one. And yeah, he's newly minted, 17 years old. He was out on SUSC Blades actually for the first half of the season. He was kind enough to release him for me from that loan contract so I could bring him in. And yeah, got him in for, I'm very happy at that. Very, very happy at that. The manager selling was happy with that. I was happy with that. Everyone's a winner. I'd say even a season ago, I would have nowhere near that amount of money. Nowhere near. I would have been paying good 50% plus on top of that, I reckon.
Yeah.
So yeah, happy with that pickup. I've got 2 inbox messages. I wonder what they could be for. Picked up this chap, 80 rated left back, 25 years old. Decent progression so far this season, as I recall. But yeah, I was happy with that price again. He's been fairly steadily still climbing and still growing at this point. I think we were at the point of that sort of prime chart. We're sort of going up to that sort of trajectory. I was happy with that one. Bought this guy from Snake, actually. I think he was a bit devastated to sell him for what he sold him for, but he just needed to get him off the books. But again, quite happy with that one, given his age and fairly flat progression curve, but I needed someone a bit younger because my other striker taking one is like 30 years old or something. So planning for future things. Picked this chap up as well. Got him out at Keto at the moment. I was quite happy with that price again. And as I recall, yeah, he's a bit of a plateau in terms of his progression, but he's already been picking up a few stats here and there since I picked him up. And then, yeah, the last one. Pardon?
Good pace.
Pace. Yeah, it was that. That was the combination I was looking for. Most of my centre backs have just not got it. He's got the pace. He's got the defending. He hasn't got the physicality. Yeah. So there's lots of ups and downs with this, and I put him in Keto because that basically was the only place I could put him in one of my teams, and he was a free agent because I'd used the other ones up for moving things around. And he can also cover at right back, and I only had one right back because. Yeah, it's a tricky one building out Keto because I already had, I think it was 12 players when I took it off Bosco to look after it for the season, and he'd given me like 4 or 5 cams. So yeah, that was an interesting one building that squad. And the last one was this chap here. I just thought for the price it was just worthwhile picking up. 80 rated, 26-year-old left mid. I don't have a left mid that's rare myself. They're not perfect. I'm quite happy with just building out the agency a bit further. What are my inbox messages? Let's find out. Is someone trying to offer me a really cheap amount for those that are listed? Probably. Yeah, one guy's going for a few of them. It might be his lucky day. But yeah, clubs. Started the second half of the season. Keto won 1 out of 2. 1-1, lost 1. Bronze team have lost both, and I know you've been watching them, Bruce, because your guys are on loan, and even you were going. What am I watching at times?
Can you show
Which
that
one?
goal? The Black Sea United, the winner.
Black Sea United.
The first game.
Yeah, it was an out.
The
Yeah,
outrageous
this one.
second goal.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is this?
So I'm building an attack, lose the ball. Okay, it goes forward. Oh, it went a bit weird then. Here we go. So attack breaks down. They go down the other end. I know there's a direct ball at some point.
What? How is that going
Wow.
in? How the hell is that going? When I was watching it live and I was like, what? They scored that? Like, what?
Yeah, I think as it
That's like
recall,
45 yards in.
yeah, I was actually watching it on my phone, and I was getting up to go to the bathroom. And my girlfriend was on the sofa, and I think when I came back from the bathroom, she went, "Did I hear you swear as you walked into the bathroom?" And I was like, "No, not at all. No, not in the slightest." But yeah, that didn't go to plan.
I stood in a
Actually,
toy, missus. That's all it was. I stood in a toy.
did you hear something smashing the toilet downstairs? No, nothing. It's fine. Don't worry about it. A Spark game? I didn't think there was any league games tonight.
No, it shouldn't be. It's all cup.
I just saw it at the homepage. I swear I did.
Friendly, maybe.
Yeah, Spark.
Oh, what?
Oh, is that
Oh,
maybe
it'll
like
Oh,
be
late registration.
Human hands.
Late
Human hands are
registration
late
game.
registration.
Yeah, it'd be a late
Yeah.
registration thing. I've done it before as well, and I got a game on a day no one else did.
Yeah, I saw one the other day where the guy only had like 6 games and everyone else had 9, 10, you know, so
Yeah.
it'll be a catch-up game sort of thing for the late
Yeah,
guys.
that'll make sense. I just got worried for a second, then thinking, I swear there weren't any league games tonight. I've not picked any tactics. Anyway, let's come off the share screen. So yeah, in terms of where clubs are at then, it sounds like some of us have done a bit of reinforcement. How about yourself, Bruce? Did you manage to sort of reinforce any teams? How's the second half of the season started?
Yeah, just let me share a screen and I'll show you because obviously you know I did because one thing that I'm also trying to do while prices are cheap right now is age down my agency and replace the older players with younger players. And I had a left back who's 29, who's 75 rated, and you had this guy here, Bob Pugh,
Yep.
76 rated, 23. You were offering him out at, when we were talking about the price, and I was like, if he was down here, like, I'd buy him instantly if it was on the market. And you were like, oh, well, I'll take this. And it's like, no brainer, I'll take him. So
Yeah.
I think we settled on 72.50. He's been progressing nicely this season with his +1s on his attributes. And I saw him, it's just like, he's not any use to you, but to me, he'll be a big upgrade for me because, well, not massive upgrade in terms of overall, but in terms of his age, so his longevity. He is faster, which I like. I like players with pace, decent defense, and physical. Not that bad, and his passing is, decent enough. So I thought that was a pretty good signing there. Another one that I wanted to talk about, and I'm sure he won't mind me talking about this, but I usually don't talk about the Fortress on here because it's going to be content. But I mean, I'll go into more detail. I was struggling to get players for the team this season because I was in ice. So I had to patchwork the team together and it took me ages to get them together. However, I saw Ron John on the Wenderk talking about how he's looking forward to club delegation. And I thought, you know what, I'll get in contact with him, told him about the Fortress, and it's pretty funny that he's the Fortress agency as well. But he's gonna provide me with the players for this team for next season, which I've already gone through his agency, a massive agency, Jesus Christ. Went through his agency and was like, okay, this is my short list. These are the guys that, high defense. These are the guys that I'm wanting. And he was like, yeah, no problem. Just because I'm the contract. I was like, oh my God. So a bit of good news for that team, definitely. I'll be able to keep on with that experiment next season, and obviously I'll be a lot stronger thanks to Ron John. So big shout out to Ron John. And also, while I'm saying that, if there are any other big agency guys who are looking for club delegation, I am happy to run more of these types of experiments in the lower leagues. If you're looking for someone who is willing to look after your players, they'll get plenty of games. I'm an active manager. So yeah, hi, I'm here. Just if you're willing, if you've got the players, these are the sort of things I'm loving. When club delegation comes out, that's the sort of thing that I'd definitely be up for. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Castle I didn't strengthen. Lost the most annoying game here because I got completely varianced but these were the team I'm basically fighting for the title. But I've been in this league with these guys for 3 seasons now, and I'm pretty sure they're going to drop points at some point. They have done. If they don't drop points, I'll be very surprised because they do every season. So sorry if you're watching, mate. Really sorry. I'm not calling you out, but they usually drop points, so I'm not too worried about that. And
Lovely run of form, mate. Lovely that.
thank you. Yeah, and
Yeah.
again, this isn't something that I've been like too focused on because I'm focusing on this team mainly. But it seemed to click, and then yeah, just a little blip there. Got through in the cup today. Do I want to talk about this? Because my little rant will probably lead into the topic of the week.
Oh, we go off on different tangents all the time, mate. You can do. Just before we go any further, though, Kev, do you want to haul yourself out to any larger agencies to look after any of the clubs on the pod? You're welcome to do so.
Yeah.
I'm happy to whore myself out to anyone, mate.
Okay, this podcast is taking a very fast downward
The missus is
spiral.
upstairs, so I might get questioned about that one later on.
So, if anybody's interested, Kev on Discord is. Anyway, carry on with Black Mamba.
Chat me up nicely and I'm anyone's, that's all I'll say.
So yeah, for Black Mamba, as I was saying, started late. I didn't start until yesterday for my second half, but we did manage to get a 1-0 win. This guy plays, he plays Fortress Tactics. He plays 5-4-1, incredibly defensive. But we managed to get through with a penalty, thankfully, to get this because your co-host, SR Monkey, I know he's not so bothered about this team, but I'm very bothered about this league here. So yeah, this is kind of annoying me right here, being second with a game in hand, and we play on Tuesday. And the most annoying thing is on a Tuesday, I coach kickboxing, so I'm out all night, so I won't even see the result until 10:30. And I know I'm going to be the entire time, I'm going to be like, did we win? Did we win? I'm going to be like anxious about it, like wanting to know if we won. But yeah, we played the cup today, and this was just, this is why it's going to lead on to our topic, I think, because we're cruising. First half, 2-0, no problem. I'm like, nice one, I've got this one in the bag, no problem. As you can see on the stats, I'm ahead. He's got more shots, but I'm obviously taking better quality shots. And then in the second half, it just went mental. He just started scoring. All 3 of them were the exact same. It was one of my centre backs. I'd play a little 5-yard hospital pass, and completely out of position, ball through, they scored, and it was literally all 3 goals. The exact same thing happened, and it made me feel powerless, because it's sort of like if we had the predefined tactics and we got to the 65th minute and I was like, we're winning, okay, sit back, don't be as don't go for it or anything, but I couldn't. There's nothing I could do, so they just tailor 2 halves. So we went out. So I was quite angry, but I'll get over it because at least it means I don't have to do any. Now I'm out of the cup, I don't have to worry about my rotation. I know what my rotation pattern is. I don't have an extra game that I have to fit it in. So that's good. However, if we do lose this game, I am going to go to every single one of my players' metaverse houses and beat the living shit out of them. They're definitely not getting any Christmas cards. Thinking about it, Strand and Pavlik, maybe they'll get like a strongly worded conversation, but the rest I'm going to beat the shit out of if they don't win this game. So if we win this game, today doesn't matter. I'm not bothered, but this is the big one for me. This is the big one for me here, right here. So, because I think that's probably going to decide the title in this division. So, yeah, it's going well. As I say, that little blip there on the cup game, it's just powerless. I just felt completely powerless, and it worked in the first half, and then in the second half, it just went. Bleh. And I'm like, there's nothing I can do.
I had a game just like it the other day. I'll maybe show you as well.
Go for it. In terms of Tuesday night, by the way, Bruce, if you like, I can send you sort of subtle hints on Discord throughout the evening.
I'm just thinking now I'm going to have, like, even if we win, I'm going to have you guys in Discord, like, oh no, Bruce.
Oh no, mate. Don't look when you get back. Just don't do it to yourself.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Right, do you want me to go through mine, or?
Yeah.
Let's go for it, mate.
Yeah. Let's see.
Sounds like you're in business.
Right, you see that?
There we go. Yeah, we're in.
I'm on I set up a separate tab, so I'm gonna have to log in again.
It's all right, mate. We can all get your password then.
Right. So, why didn't it do
I think you click sign up.
that? I'm continuing the technical errors for you.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go. Right, so 6 teams. I'll fly through them. I won't spend too long on this. But yeah, just to show you. So this one's going all right. Top 3. It's my hometown, so I'm hoping to get them promoted. Only lost 1 game all season. These 2 are massively overpowered. So yeah, just happy to be sort of keeping pace with those 2 in a nice 5-point gap there as well. Now you were mentioning Bosco. I beat, as you can see, Bosco Athletics youth team today, but it's actually Trust the Process. So he's bought his team. So there you go. So that was a nice 4-3-3 battle right there. So yeah, so that's the Aberdeen D-Gens. I love the badge, to be honest. I must highlight that.
Oh, that is nice.
You guys like sheep down in Yorkshire as well, don't you? So.
Oh, we do, mate. We do.
So there you go. So yeah, not really too much to highlight here. Just hoping to get them promoted. Bought them as a Spark team. Yeah, season's going well. Just 1 loss. So, have I got any monster progressors here? In fact, I do. I've got a couple on loan. Or do I want to go into progression later?
We've got
You can jump on it now if you want, mate. I'm sure I saw a +12 for someone.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Well, I think Bruce says we'll jump in it later, will we? Or it's up to you.
You're the guest, mate. Do what you want. If you want to talk about progression now, you go for it.
There you go. So look at this. So it's a +6 for Howard, but he's on loan from Looking for Food. And I've also got Kodap's guy who's doing really well as well. But if you look at the individual progression over time, look at this.
Oh, wow.
It's gorgeous. Started as a 52, now up to a 70. So
that's the dream, isn't it?
That's incredible. And he's only 27 still. And then Kodap's guy is looking almost as good already. Look at that.
Nice.
Started as a 54. So yeah, lots of great progression, just unfortunately none for my players. So anyway, so this is the team that I'm in with Bruce on. This is Casco Viejo. So this is Danya's team. So Danya's a guy in our Discord. And he's a very busy man. He's at sort of university and stuff. So he just asked me to take it on for him. But the plan was take it on in Spark, get him up to ice and hand it back to him. But he's still busy. So I've literally just filled it with my players, his players, and just see what we can do really. But as Bruce said earlier, I think it was before we started recording, it's for a nice team, it's quite overpowered, eh? So
team.
It's a strong team. And the new left back I just packed, I popped him in there as well because I didn't have anywhere else for him. But he's quite nice. So yeah, that's going okay. It's a nice tight battle actually, Bruce. Because I mean, well, it sounds like you'll do your own content on the Fortress, but. Yeah, look at that.
Talk about it. It is very close. I mean, the guy at top. I mean, he's got a stronger team than you do, don't he? Like, yeah. So he's probably. But those playoff spots are wide open. I think any of those teams can probably catch it.
That second place is open. This guy just permanently plays 3-4-2-1, but he's had a lot of success with it. And as you can see, I lost to the guy top 1-0, but I seen that you beat him, which was really good.
I drew with him. I drew with him 0-0, which I was pretty impressed with. Considering he scored 42 goals this season, I was like, oh, 0-0, I'll take that.
No, sorry, it was the other guy in the Discord. It was, you drew. It was this guy, Rory. Rory beat him, that's who. But none of us are catching this guy, let's be honest. So his team is just incredible.
It's ridiculous, yeah.
Although, when you look at it like that, it looks quite similar to mine. But the difference is he can play wingers, is what I would say to that. So but he's doing very well. He's played 4-3-3 the whole season, and it's just doing very, very well for him. So that's that one. The Ramble, as you boys all know, we've got a podcast on this. It's a community team, so everyone will just throw all their best guys for that level in, if possible. But Big Wilbert's first. Noe Sark, I think it is second. Yeah, Noe Sark. And these guys have got incredibly overpowered teams. So there's probably no chance of catching them. But the Ramble, I think we're projected 9th or 10th. So to be where we are, pretty good going. Although, as you can see, it's still quite tight. But we are through in the cup as well. We won today in the cup, so that was lovely. Right, the game I wanted to show you, Bruce, was this one. So it's very similar to yourself. We were 2-0 up, or no, it's a different game I'm thinking about, but it's probably quite similar. No, it's not actually. I'm talking crap. That was just a bad loss. That's all that was. But there was a game. I'll need to try and remember what it was, but there was a game where we were like 2 or 3-0 up, totally cruising, and then we lost 4-3 or something. And it was nuts. It was very similar to your game where you dominated the first half, and then the other guy just came back in there. So,
yeah.
But yeah, the Ramble's going well. The purpose of this is to obviously maximise the MFL for everyone that donates the players. And I know that looks a really strong team for Iron, but those other teams ahead of him are way stronger.
Yeah.
So yeah, a nice little mix of my players, monkeys, all the other guys in the Discord. So yeah, it's a nice team that we started. I think we started in Ice, and now we're all the way up to the top end of Iron. So it's going pretty well.
Nice.
Yeah, so decent. In through in the cup, so great for the MFL. Right, another logo that I like is this one. So that's my Canadian DGens.
Like it.
So yeah, I want these guys to do well. I want these guys to go up. So we're sitting pretty up at the top with Big Wilbert at the moment. With a shocking start to the season. As you can see, it's a funny bit of form. 8 wins, 4 losses, no draws. So it's kind of hit or miss with them. But yeah, I think we're doing pretty well. We've got a relatively strong squad, but I think I'm still only projected 5th or 6th in this league as well. Yeah. So it's crazy the power creep now, how all the squads are getting so strong. But yeah, Canadian DGens are doing well. I think we're through in the cup. Yeah, 1-2-0. Of course, this is the Fortress formation I was playing today. There you go. And the stats were lovely as well.
Yeah, dominated.
There you go. So 2.36 XG, 11 shots, 8 on target, 6 saves, and we still won 2-0 as well. So, and that's against an overpowered 4-3-3-D as well. So
nice. Through in the cup. Through in the cup. That's all that matters.
Going well. Now the Dandies is a funny one because I've been trying to sell them since the start of the season. So I didn't have the players for them. We progressed way quicker than we should have done. I wanted them to stay in Iron, then they went to Bronze, then they went to Silver. So yeah, kind of like doing a bit too good for ourselves sort of thing. But yeah, as you can see, most of the players there are on loan. So I've kind of been limping my way through the season. But I did have a nice little couple of back-to-back wins there. So I'm now up to 4th, which is crazy heights for this team. But I do have a tough run coming, so I'd be quite happy to end the season mid-table there, to be honest.
What's your thoughts if you get promoted to gold?
Don't, mate, don't.
Oh, tell me about it with mine. I don't, like, literally, we were discussing my co-owned silver team. We were like, we're projected Bob, just want to stay up. Yesterday when we sat there, we're going, what the hell are we going to do if we get to gold? Like, literally, what the hell are we going to do? But yeah, it's a nice problem to have.
Yeah, no, totally. Well, look at that. I'm only 2 points off a second.
Yeah, so exactly.
It's insane. And I don't even want to be in silver, never mind gold. So, it's nuts. And as you can see, I got knocked out of the cup, but that was deliberate because I had to rest certain players to save them for the league games to keep them up. So, yeah, I'm okay with that. And then on to the staple of the agency, the Retro Degens. So, unfortunately, we got knocked out of the cup today. But as you can see, we're sitting pretty second in the league. So, I'm absolutely delighted with that. We were projected 9th in this league.
Completely outperforming then on a lot of your teams, man.
Yeah, massively outperforming, mate. I think every single projection was between 5th and 10th. So, and we're top 3 and 4 in every single league. So, yeah, I can't complain. I think once I figured out the engine, I was in a really good place. And then, yeah, I was just obviously quite lucky. I had some of the pieces to do it as well. Like, for example, for the Dandies, I never figured it out in time to get the right pieces in. So I can't play wingers, and I've only got one set of fullbacks. So I've really hamstrung myself with the Dandies, but with everyone else, it's going pretty well. But as you can see with Tijuana Terriers, they are hugely overpowered. They're just dominating this league. So, but yeah, the objective here was kind of mid-table in a cup run. So we've done the opposite. We're second and we're out with the cup. But yeah, I love my team here. These are some of the guys that I packed at the start, and a lot of the guys that I've bought on my journey as well. So yeah, and a lot of these guys have just went Lego this season. I've obviously got a few loans in there as well, but yeah, progression-wise this season for these guys, it's been pretty good actually, in terms of the big guys getting the +1s,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, really, really happy how that's going. My only problem with this team is this: all my best players are too old.
Yeah.
So, but on the flip side of that, only 2 of them have that retirement sign. So, I'm actually in a pretty decent place with all this, to be honest. So yeah, I would love to get these guys to gold. Funnily enough, last season we finished second on goal difference. We should have won the league, finished second, and then I lost in the playoffs because we very nearly went to gold last season. So I definitely wasn't ready for it then. So
Well, fingers crossed for this season, mate. Fingers crossed.
So there you go. So that's a very long-winded way of going through my team. Sorry about that, boys.
No,
it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
There
you go.
Yeah, it's nice to see other people's teams and how they've sort of put them together and how they get on the league. Obviously, on social media, I hear people talking about how well they're doing, or how shit the game is because they're not doing very well. You get one of the two. You don't tend to sort of find out in the middle of the road and how it's sort of bumbling along. So yeah, it was interesting looking at some of the power creep that I'm seeing though. Like you showed me like the Spark and the Ice team, and I'm looking at the rating of players when I was playing Spark and Ice, and I'm like, that was only 2 seasons ago. That is bonkers how much that power creep has taken effect.
Yeah, and I'm delighted to be sitting second and third in those leagues because the guys above me are even way more overpowered than I am. So, I mean, there's guys below me that have got stronger teams than me as well, and that's why I was projected 8th and 9th and stuff like that. So, yeah, crazy power creep.
It feels like the engine this season, which we'll come on to in a moment because it's our topic of the week, is the big leveler for a lot of people this season. It's like if you can get your head around it and you can get settled into a rhythm, then you start to do pretty well consistently. Those that have struggled, or if they've got the set and forget tactics, they've struggled more. Because I've seen in my Silver League some of the teams that are further down the table shouldn't be down there. They just shouldn't. Looking at the quality of the team. But yeah, it's an interesting one because obviously we had the dev update this week from MFL talking about the changes that some people have started spotting on the experimental engine in particular. We've got the Heatmaps, the shot charts, and the match engine changes. So we've now got the fact that Heatmaps and shot charts are now in the game. We've got defenders apparently going to be using their bodies to slow opponents, so implementing the sort of physicality of defenders against more pacier ones. Apparently, there's going to be more variety in calling for the ball. So attackers who join the attack to create overloads will now make more varied runs inside, outside, straight, etc., etc. And some of the community feedback has been addressed. Well, we'll see if we all agree on that one. In particular with goalkeepers, like being incredibly passive, where they think about, oh, there's a ball there. I'd be right. I'd be right. Especially when it's 5 yards away from them and their attacking player. I saw one in one of my games. The goalkeeper saved it actually because we were all of us in our silver team all watching it live. We're all going, "What the fuck is the goalkeeper doing?" Because he had 5 yards of space to make up, and he went 40 yards. I went, actually, no, I'm going to go back over here. And one of their holding midfielders ran 50 yards to get to the ball past the entire team and had a shot on goal. He saved it, so whatever. But yeah, there's lots of those. So that's been the topic of the week. Obviously, we're seeing lots of conversation. I'm in lots of different Discord channels, people talking about the engine. It's been the topic all season. But have you tried the new experimental engine yet, chaps? Have you been given that a bit of a whirl? Any particular early stage feedback yet?
I have because of Tactics Corner. So I've noticed some changes, yeah. And I do think some of them have carried over to the current engine. as we were
Interesting.
talking before. I mean, it's tiny little things, but I'm like, it's sort of bled over. Just seemed. I mean, I don't know how it works, like how they code it and all but it seems to have stuff that weren't there before. You know, I've played an entire half a season on this engine, and then we were talking about it before we started, Mr. K, and now we're seeing slight little nuanced
Yeah.
things in this half of the season. It's like, well, something's got to, because that wasn't happening.
It feels different.
It feels different. Whether it is or not, it definitely feels different to me. Tiny little things.
How about yourself, Kev? Have you noticed it? Yeah. Any changes you noticed, Kev? Either current engine or have you tried the experimental one? Any particular notes?
I only just started using it today.
Mm-hmm.
For Tactics Corner, I was kind of mixing and matching between current engine and experimental. And one thing I noticed massively, not gameplay wise, well, two things actually. The first thing is 433A always gets beat by 433D this season. That's something I've noticed permanently. I mean, barring the odd bit of variance, exception, maybe, the other team's overpowered, whatever it may be. But generally, that's what I've noticed. Played a game of the Ramble, first game experimental engine, 433A for me against a better rated 433D and smashed them 3-0. So, complete opposite of what I've been seeing this season is where I'm going with that. And the other thing is the heat maps. For some reason, they're always down the left-hand side. You notice that?
I feel like I saw something somewhere where the MFL had acknowledged that, and as a basically an error at the moment. Because I suppose experimental engine right now is not the finished article. It never is, but it's not the finished article. They'll keep iterating on it until the start of the season. Then we'll still probably get the first week of the season, and we'll get like the final patch for the season. But it's still interesting seeing these things. Because I did obviously for Tactics Corner, we've all been prepping for it. We've all done our homework. We're not root. But I stayed on this current season's engine to do the tactic testing, thinking, well, if people who want to use this tactic, they can use it now. And two, I've got one team that can just about run it, and I thought it would be nice to have it at my disposal in case I want to roll it out. But it would be a one-off game here or there because I've rolled it out once this season and got a win with it in silver. So yeah, in terms of what I've seen, and I know I was talking about it just before we got started, because I saw the dev announcement, I panicked, messaged Kev immediately, going, "They've not changed it again, have they?" Because I'm gonna. Then Lucas responded on MFL, sort of like a more detailed breakdown, which is generally sort of public posting and sort of acknowledging for the experimental engine or these changes. But then in testing and then in games, I have seen some of the same things that they said they've sort of tried to get rid of. I've seen it again. Some of these, the goalkeeper not coming for the ball when you feel like they should do. I've been on the receiving end and benefited from it. And in particular, I usually have formations where I've got at least one DM, if not two, and I get them to play more often than not, more defensive. And they just seem to stand next to the centre-backs holding hands, like when we've got possession. And that wasn't happening before. The goalkeeper plays out short to the centre-back. They shake hands, do the DM and the centre-back, and the DM then suddenly has the ball. And then it's like, well, what do we do now? Because we're so deep, we're now being pressed, and then error occurs. And that was never happening the first half of the season. And it might just be a visual representation, it's slight variance in terms of that. But I've noticed little patterns like that happening a lot. I don't know. My gut tells me it's not quite the same engine as it was the first half of the season. Is my gut. Do you agree, Jack, guys? Or am I just going to be... Is it just salty because I didn't get a few results the second half of the season?
Well, that's one of Jimbo's main tinfoil things, isn't it? The engine doesn't change, he'll say. It's same engine for the whole season. I've kind of had my theories in the past that, when they do something with the experimental engine, maybe it does affect the current engine. I don't know, but going back to Jimbo, he'll just back that up by saying maybe it's the variance suddenly hitting you. Maybe you had a great first half of the season, you didn't get any bad variance, now it's hitting you, So, yeah, it's probably more likely that one, let's be honest.
Yeah, I think variance is very much a factor in this, and as we've discussed at length when people were really kicking off about the engine in general for the season, all we're seeing in terms of a visual representation is a calculation. The engine's done a calculation for an outcome, and then it's trying to produce a visual representation of what it's actually calculated. Well, that can throw up all manner of issues and errors and things like that. So it literally could just be that. I have had the same situation where goalkeeper plays it out short to centre back plays it to the DM who's 10, 15 yards up, and they still do the same thing. They've got 90 plus passing, and they play a 5 yard scrappy 10 pence p ball into the middle of nowhere, and someone just picks the ball up and then they're at us again. This is just visually looking very different, but I don't know. At the moment, I felt like for the first half of the season, you could see certain scenarios playing out that you've seen before. And I've seen it with Jimbo on his streams where he's like, oh, recognise that play. Or if you got a throw in the attacking half, we're in, boys. It's like this season, if you get a wide free kick in the penalty area, I don't know why you're showing it to us. It's just going to the goalkeeper. What's the point? Because that's all they ever do, 98% of the time. But yeah, I
there
don't
is
know.
repetitive goals. There is very repetitive goals.
Oh yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah,
Like, it's
it's
fair
it's a
enough.
simulation, you know. So
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely
yeah.
it is.
No, I've
So
not noticed too much difference second half so far. It's mainly the same goals I'm scoring, to be honest.
do you think the heat maps are going to? I think they're going to influence some of my decision making moving forward. I think it's especially if we know we can trust them and we're happy with things like you're saying. You've seen the left side dominance in terms of them. But do you think the heat maps are going to help dictate or inform you in your tactics ready for the next season?
I love it because you know, what I'd like to play around with is, for example, high positional freedom. How much does
Yeah,
that affect the heat map, you know? And then obviously offensive, defensive, all that sort of stuff. But no, I love that in theory. And then the shot chart is really cool as well, because that shows you where they're taking shots from, what their XG is for that shot, stuff like that. So yeah, that'll definitely have an impact in your decision making. That's a good thing.
yeah. I think it's a good development, that one. I really, really do. I think some of this variety in calling for the ball, I think that's going to be a visual representation just in the engine. Fine, no problem with that. I mean, the more variety we have in terms of what we see to experience the game, I think is a beneficial thing moving forward, even if some of it is a bit questionable at times. But that's part of football. You see weird and wacky things all the time. But yeah, I do like that. I like the idea that defenders can now use physicality, seemingly being worked into the engine now. So physical defenders who haven't got the pace can bully some of these faster strikers. I mean, I feel like I've seen some of that because some of my strikers haven't got that physical blend with their pace. And in tight games or where we're struggling to break down, they do suffer. They have poor match ratings. And so I'd very much see that being a factor moving forward. But it'd be nice to see it being explicitly called out moving forward. What do you
As long
think,
as
Bruce?
there's
Do you think?
balance to it.
Yeah,
Sorry, I was just going to
absolutely.
say, as long as there's balance, because I remember the first couple of engines, if I had a striker with, say, 70 physical, he would hold off the defender with 85 physical, you know, so the striker would always have the advantage there. So yeah, as long as it's more balanced, as long as the defender doesn't always win that duel, you know, so,
Hmm.
right, I'll shut up. Sorry, guys.
No, don't worry about it. No, it's a good point though, because I think with all these new things that we bring in, it could be implemented not as effectively as we hoped it would, and it could have undesired effects, like you say. Um, like if just pace was just wildly overpowered and everyone in the market goes for pace. If defenders with high physicality suddenly become the meta, and it's a season like this where you sit fairly deep, you don't want to be stepping up, then slow centre backs with massive physicality in defending are going to be the premium. It will dictate, it'll help influence the market, and maybe it will give it a bit of a jump start.
Exactly. Right, I'm going to let Mr. Bruce speak and I'll be back in a sec, guys, okay?
Yeah, no worries, mate, no worries. So, what about yourself, Bruce? Do you reckon it's going to, like the heat map sort of stuff? Do you think that's going to help with your tactical sort of testing?
First of all, I think anything that gives me more information is great.
Yeah,
Anything that gives me more insight, the shot charts will tell me certain stuff. The heat maps, like I don't want to say it all but yeah, it's gonna if it works properly, it's gonna tell you certain things about your opponent's tactics.
yes,
Like if I want to know if my opponent's playing a high line, I just look at his heat map for his defenders. Are
yeah,
they high up? and it's going to give me more information. And yeah, like you said, like when you're going on a week-to-week basis, and like you are at the higher levels playing the rock paper scissors, that stuff's going to give you great information about your opponents.
Yes.
And yeah, I think it's an amazing thing. I think it's a great start. I think there's still so much more they can add, but I mean, yeah, just let's go with what we've got so far, and this is a great step. I think it's going to be very, very helpful in
Yeah.
many ways. Yeah.
I think they've had that data for a long time as well. They've just not had a representation of it available to everyone. Obviously, I'd shared with you guys that tool I'd built where it tracked the X and Y axis by me just basically using dev tools on a match that had concluded in one of my games. And I was able to reverse engineer roughly the average position of every player on the pitch by their X and Y in terms of a graph, their position on the pitch. They've had that information. They're just going to provide it to us in a more serviceable way than me using AI and trying to reverse engineer these things. I think it's absolutely going to be influential. I think Kev's point about positional freedom, absolutely, because I like positional freedom, and it'd be nice to see a literal representation of it without having to watch the entirety of a match.
Yeah.
I think getting an idea of, okay, I want a certain role to be more defensive. What does that look like on the pitch? What about more offensive? What does that look specifically like on the pitch? If it's a left mid or a right mid, I put them on more offensive. Are they where I want them to be on more regularly, or is it better with high positional freedom because I want them to get up and down? It's a really interesting one moving forward. And then we'll also get the heat map of the goalkeeper where they just stay on the goal line and they have these tiny little things where they just go up ever so slightly and then just go back again. We'll get those. But yeah, I'm excited by this. I'm going to be getting my teeth into the experimental engine probably starting next week with me testing theoretically what I'd be looking to do next season. So I can prioritize what sort of team I want to have, composition I want to have to a certain degree, because we're going to have lots of iterations of this experimental engine until it's released, but start getting a bit of an idea going. Because I know I've bemoaned this to you previously, Kev, but when you and I have spoke into the later hours as to tactics in this season and what works, and you're going, yeah, 4-3-3, and I'm going, right, stop telling me 4-3-3 because I can't play 4-3-3. Could you give me anything else? And then you suggested the 5-4-1 like you did, and I was like, I'm going to bloody wing this. Can you just give me one I can play? Anyway, it was a bit more friendly than that, to be fair. But we're now coming on to the segment that we do every week. We've got Tactics Corner. This is the part of the pod where we have been testing a certain tactic and we just share our insights. If you want to, you can share your screen, guys. You can go through the breakdown explicitly of your formation and tactics. You don't have to, because if you're obviously deploying it, maybe you don't want to be sharing it with everyone in the community, and that's totally fine, but you can just talk theoretically about it and around the concept of your formation. But we went with 4-3-3 attack this week because we tend to ask the community what they're after. And we did, was it 4-2-2 last week? So Coles would actually do his homework. And the week before, it was a 4-1-4-1. So we'll be looking for suggestions for next week. If you don't give us one, then we'll choose one ourselves. And if you don't like it, well, don't care. So 4-3-3 attack was the one we jumped into this week. Would any of you guys like to go first before I jump into mine?
Bruce, it's up to
Yeah,
you.
you go first. You go first.
Yeah, I'll go first then. Right.
So yeah, Kev, you feel free to disclose as much or as little information about your tactical setup, especially if you deploy it on the regular. I, for example, like 4-2-2, so I gave a version of my 4-2-2 and didn't give out my latest version of my 4-2-2. So whatever you feel most comfortable with.
So, first of all, I'll show you the results. So if I just scroll down here, I'll show you. So I did it with the Ramble, you know. Why is that not showing up here?
If you go back to your home, go back to home for a second.
Yeah.
And then top friendlies initiated.
Ah, yeah. Sorry, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I did the same thing earlier, getting ready for the pod. I was like, where the hell are all my friendlies?
There you go. So, yeah, no, I was looking at it in the schedule screen earlier on. It was really good. In fact, can I show you this? Yeah, is that shading as well?
Not that tab at the moment. If you've loaded up a new one, you might need to click share tab on that one.
No, that's cool. Okay, well, I'll keep it separate, actually. But this is a good way to show you. So I started here with the 4-3-3. So as you can see, there was a few draws. It was tight games, tight stats. So then I changed it up and I lost these 2 games. So I thought, right, no, I need to be more defensive here. I need to sort of lock it up and be tighter at the back while still getting that sort of attacking expression as well. And then, as you can see, it was a lovely little run of form after that. 5-0, 2-1, 5-2, and so on. Then I started playing some of the same guys again, just to test the variance aspect of it. Because initially, if I go back here a sec, you'll see it's all different opponents. Because I was just testing against different formations, different setups. And then as I come up to this section, it was all wins, doing very well until I hit this guy. Now I think he played a 4-3-3 as well. Let's have a look. He did. So I thought, right, that's now my mission to beat his 4-3-3. And yeah, that went pretty well. There was a draw and then 2 very nice wins. Then the cup game, and then this one was on the new engine. This is the one I was telling you about. So that was the A against the D. So that went very, very well. It was a nice 3-0. Good stats as well. So yeah, this setup is good. The initial iteration I had right at the start of this little run was completely different to what I have now. But it's the same from the 5-0 onwards, basically. So I can show you that setup right now. So individual instructions on everyone, which I'll come back to. But the team instructions are this. 50% width. Controlled. I was experimenting with balanced and direct, and I did like it. Kept it balanced because I'm strong on both sides. Take less long shots because long shots aren't really working very well this engine. Crossing balanced. I have been messing about with cross more often, which is good, but it's very wasteful. But crossing in general for me, this engine is way improved. It's way, way better.
Yeah, agreed.
Dribble less. Yeah, dribble less often. Don't like dribbling in this engine. I've got some really good dribblers as well, and it's just not for me, this engine. I was messing about with defensive and offensive, but I found that balance was better, ironically, for balance to give me better defense and attack.
Yeah.
Whereas in other tactics, I find more offensive's good and more defensive's good. But yeah, balance was working really well with a controlled setup. So then down here, 25% roughly depth and compactness. Play out from the back, which I like to marry up with controlled, but I don't always play that. Balanced aggressiveness, never change that. And more often pressing is what I tend to do on most tactics. So yeah, quite a different setup to what I normally use. I don't normally use this. But yeah, it's working really well. Now, the main reason I think it's working well is the individuals. So the centre backs are both on, obviously, more defensive, conservative, and low. Now, I remember, Bruce, you saying you don't like conservative passing. I'm kind of with you there. I'm usually a clear more often kind of guy as well. I remember you saying that. But for this tactic, it just works really well. And their passing's pretty crap as well, so yeah, that's the centre backs. The full backs are on kind of cross more often, a little bit more freedom. Well, they were on they were on medium freedom. Now they're on low, and they're on more defensive as well. So that's been a key change because I was conceding a lot of goals when I had them on balanced. So more defensive on the fullbacks works well. And I found with cross more often and risky passing, because they've both got good passing, they were getting a lot of assists as well. But they were staying back defensively, which was key. So the centre mids are a little bit different. One's risky and balanced. Oh, maybe I do have them both on that now, actually. Yeah, risky and balanced. So I did experiment with this guy being on more defensive, one of them being more offensive. It was fun attacking, but wild defensively. McCann is Kevin De Bruyne's brother, so
Nice.
you would think I'd have him on risky passing, but ironically he's a dribbler more than a passer. So because I don't like dribbling, I've left that off. He doesn't have anything on him. But now this is the fun bit, I think. So the wingers. So it's just cross more often, risky and high. But if they've got pace, I would say direct for them. And I would also have them on more offensive. And that way they'll just cut inside, literally go direct for the goal as opposed to just sitting on the wing. But with these guys, I've got them both on just cross more often and risky and high. because that way they've got the freedom to go where they want. They'll cross it in. They'll use those through balls from width, which I think is huge. This engine. So between the crossing and the through balls, it's brilliant. Now this guy's a beast. If you look at him, 88 pace, 85 physical.
Nice.
So yeah, just direct, just to beast all the defenders because he'll just outmuscle them and outpace them most of the time. Risky passing, which I never normally do in a striker, but it's been working very well because he's actually getting loads of assists. So there you go. That's potentially something you guys can mess about with as well if you haven't already. In high freedom, so all three forwards on high freedom. So yeah, it's a really cool setup. Actually, I really like it. It's very, very different to what I'll normally run. But yeah, it's, as you can see by the results, guys, it's been going very, very well.
Have you seen with the high positional freedom with all your forwards? Obviously, Heatmaps available. I know we're saying it's not perfect. Are you seeing the high positional freedom being reflected in their Heatmaps?
Yes, I'm glad you said that because I just went and checked it. Now that's remember I just said it was all coming down the sides on the heat maps?
Yeah.
That was me being stupid, is what that was.
Because
it was on my... Now see, that's what I thought it was. See how it says positions all?
Yeah.
Now that's what I thought, it's always down the left side. What's going on here? But what I think it's doing is it's going to your left winger, because as you can see, I've changed it to the left winger, and it's the exact same heat map. So it's defaulting to that player for some reason. But when I go to my striker, it's different.
There we go.
Now look at that for a heat map for your striker. That's wild, and that's just because he's got high freedom. So because he's got that high freedom, high pace, high physical, I thought he can drop back, play like a Bobby Firmino false nine kind of role as well as a main striker, and just drop deep, ping those through balls, and it's been working a treat. He's getting loads of assists. So yeah, I thought I was being stupid, but I wasn't actually. It just seems to default to the left winger is what it is.
When it's on all.
See, there you go. It does show you different heat maps for each player. But when it comes up positions all, it just seems to default to the left winger, and that's what it was.
Yeah, you can't even select all there when you're going back on that tab. It's not giving you that opportunity to do it again. No, that's interesting. Yeah. It's interesting because with having them all on high positional freedom, I like the idea of the flexibility attacking. And then I've got this mindset of what I've seen in previous iterations that high positional freedom means they do go forward and they're all over the place. But they'll also come back and defend quite actively, and they might not be where you want them to be when you're suddenly transitioning from defense to attack. So it was interesting to sort of see that. But if you've got the flexibility around the pitch with the 4-3-3 attack and your cam is sort of like a cog, the middle linchpin in that, I can see how that would work.
Yeah, look at the cam. He's almost like a box-to-box midfielder.
Yeah.
It's a fair heat map, that. It's massive ground he's covering. And then if you look at the centre mids, same again. It's like... Yeah, it's like pretty much box-to-box as well, really. So he'll kind of get here and then start pinging his risky passes is what I've found when I've watched it. And then if you look at the wingers, they're on high freedom as well. So look at that.
They really are.
That's a wild heat map, that. And then the left winger, you've seen that at the start. He's pretty much the same. So
what about the goalkeeper?
So that's new engine. Goalkeeper. You better not be anywhere else. Let's see. There you go.
There we go. Yes.
Tiny little heat map. Thank God for that.
Well, you got to ask these things. You never know.
Well, look at my centre back, and he's on low freedom, so that's interesting.
If you controlled the game, though, that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys all know this, but you used to be able to put your centre backs on high freedom, and they would go up for corners. So that's not really worked for me the past couple of engines, but so it'd be funny if that works and you have a wee heat map here of your defenders up for corners, so that'd be cool. But yeah, that's the kind of things I want to experiment with and just play around with. But yeah, so this is a really good cool 4-3-3. It's worked really well. Majority of those were old engine, but there's a few in there where I've obviously flicked onto the new engine as well. But as you can see, consistency-wise, barring this one variance game, it was a solid setup.
Yeah. Very nice. Nice, thanks for sharing. Bruce, do you want to jump into yours, or shall I jump into mine?
You go for yours if you want, mate.
Let's do it. Why not? Come on, computer. Let's share the screen. So let's choose the right thing. So I had to test with my silver team because it's the only team I can run a 4-3-3 with. So that's what you've got, boys. So I started back here, and I was literally just doing find match, find me a match, find me a match. I wasn't being selective over teams, and I was getting teams of similar strength. Interestingly, I wasn't finding any teams matching up that I would argue were quite a bit less strength than mine, like underpowered. But I was matching a number of strong gold teams. Yet we were pulling up quite a few results here and there. I did it all on this season's engine, and I found previously if I'm playing against a 4-3-3 attack, I haven't got the ability to play the 4-3-3 defense, like you said, Kev, earlier, but I have found the 4-2-2 does cause problems, and a lot of problems. So, lo and behold, I think this was a 3-5-2B, dominated the game and lost, won the next one. Then they were very, comparative to my team, they were a bit weaker. But then we just went on this really nice, consistent winning run against all these bigger teams. Came up against the Dandies, you might notice. And I was like, oh, this is a nice turn up for the Bucks. And I didn't know if it was a sort of a throwaway tactic that you just put on to like throw a red herring there. But yeah, against the full 2-2, you nullified us. Like we just couldn't get going in that game at all.
Yeah.
But that's why I like the 4-2-2 against that one, because I think it's very hard to defend against it with the 4-3-3 attack. But yeah, overall, fairly solid set of results. I think this team were a strong team as well. As I
Mr.
recall,
Orange Fly.
I think it was a very strong team. 4-4-2, yeah. I mean, in terms of overalls, and the 4-3-3 I can actually play. And he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. I think this was a gold team, as I recall. Silver team. It was a silver team.
Well, it might as well be a gold team. Look at those ratings. It's incredible.
I'm not jealous, not at all, not in the slightest. But yeah, I replayed them because I thought, when I come up against a good team and I feel like I'm struggling against them, I like to replay them a few times and then tweak my tactics to see if we can do anything with it. But let me jump into the tactic then.
No shame losing to that one, mate.
I don't really worry too much about the losses when it's like testing, because that's what I'm doing in testing. It's going to work, sometimes it isn't. And when it does work, I want to work out why it worked. And if it didn't work, I want to know why it didn't work. So here's what the setup is. Going into the individual instructions shortly. Because I'm on this current season's engine, 50% width, because I rarely move that one. I'm very slightly on the old formation here and there. But I'm going direct shock. Less long shots, because I agree, Kev, it doesn't work at the moment whatsoever. Cross more often, because in this engine, it just seems to pay off. So I'm going with it. It doesn't make sense to me, but it does work. I've found more often than it doesn't. I don't really like playing with the team attacking tendency. I found I'd just rather choose my team as to who does what. 25% on the team depth and compactness. Same as you, Kev, in terms of the after possession stuff. More often pressing. Not doing more aggressive. Last season I did, and it worked well. This season I just don't see it working. And play out defence, because we do want to control the ball. Go through the individual structure, start with a goalkeeper. I like to control it and play it short. I don't like the big hoof upfield unless you've got the physicality and you're likely to win this. I just don't see the point in these big hoofs upfield every 2 seconds. Fairly simple in terms of the individual instructions. More defensive on the centre back. I think I've got one of the CMs on more defensive, so you're just in a little bit more and stay and sit, and the other one's on nothing. I like to leave my fullbacks as they are. I like them on normal attacking tendency because they do get forward and contribute. I like playing high positional freedom. I like to throw at least one player in there, and I chose that for the Cam, and he does cause problems because he gets back and covers. If we get caught like the other centre mid get caught out, he'll drop back in there. And equally, he throws it up into runs off the centre of the striker, or just causing that the pass before the assist is what he's often creating in that one. But he's on high positional freedom and more offensive. And the wingers, I think they're just on more offensive. Yes, they are. And I think same for the striker. I could tell him to go direct, but there's not much point because the team is direct. And if you look at his stats, he actually just tear broke as well on load from it's Duff. Can't think of his agency now. Apollo Sports Agency, I think it is.
Apollo,
yeah. Yeah. 92 pace, 93 shooting. So he's just tear broke the season with us. And yeah, I find this partner play, it tends to be that we control the ball in these sorts of areas. It's a short pass into one of the midfielders or the fullbacks if they need a bit of space. and then very quickly we're transitioning in behind the opponent's midfield because I'm finding teams are coming on to us more often than they're not, and then we're just creating overloads all the time up front with the way I've got the team sort of set up. Ideally, I'd have a team that's more calibrated for a 4-3-3, but hey ho, it is what I'm dealing with. Is that another inbox message? Does that mean I've got yet another offer while on the pod? I need to record the pod more often. I've been struggling to sell folk. But yeah, at the moment, I don't believe my agency's very well set up for such a formation, sadly, because that's something I might look to address in the off season. I've got a lot of left mid and right mid, but not many wingers, not that can really play it properly anyway. So it's something I'm going to have to explore going into the new season as to whether I want to do that. But yeah, the key one for this week, with the agency not quite being where I want it to be for 4-3-3 attack, but it was fun playing. I can definitely see even with an underpowered team against some of my opponents, I was getting the tactical advantage for playing a 4-3-3 attack against a number of different formations. So it's nice to have that in the back pocket now as an option for the second half of the season. How about yourself, Bruce? How did it go for you? Did you say earlier you don't have wingers either?
Yeah, I don't really have any dedicated wingers. Like my right winger was actually my main striker, who he's got it as a secondary, so I had to play him there, and that's essentially what I've done here. And there was part of me that almost considered not showing this, because, like I said, this is the first time I've really bothered trying the 4-3-3, any iteration of it, and I can sort of see why people think it's OP. But I don't think it's OP because I think any of the savvier managers will know how to stop it. After playing so many games with it, I can see how I could nullify it. So I don't think it's OP. What I do think it is, and why people think it's OP, is because it's very easy to get right, I think. And I think that's the strength of it. If you're in the lower leagues, especially, where you're not against the savvier managers, and you're struggling with tactics, I think after this, I would absolutely say go 4-3-3-A, because it's nice and simple. It's hard to get wrong, and as you can see, I did a mix because we knew it was coming early, so I started early. So I started on the old engine and then moved to the experimental engine as it came out. And as you can see, winning here, we conceded goals, but the good thing about it was we scored more, like every single time. So all the way up to here, didn't lose a single game. And this is another reason why, as well, I say it's very easy to pick up. In all the other tactics, even the tactics I use myself for my own teams, I always have to tweak. I'll play a couple of games, I'll tweak. This one, I did it, and I haven't touched it from the first game to the end game. Like, it's literally just been the exact same instructions the entire time. And then when we come here to this bronze team here, this is the experimental engine. Now, ignore these two because this isn't even the 4-3-3-A here. That's not me playing the 4-3-3-A. And this, the other one, was against a diamond team that I had no business challenging. I was just doing it because he was moaning in the Discord about getting beaten by a West team. And I just wanted to see what tactics he was playing. I wanted to see what he was doing. So ignore these two games. But as you can see, win, draw there, win, 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 win. So it was and these are all iron teams, and this one's a bronze. It's not a very strong bronze team, but it's a bronze team, and it was lots of wins. So I was like, do I want to share this or do I want to use this? Because it seems to be extremely effective. But I'm going to show it anyway because, like I said, my team's not optimal for it.
Do it for yourself.
Nah, I'm not bothered. I've got other tactics that I can use. But this is my instructions here in the middle. I decided to go direct because, yeah, it seems to be very effective. I've got fast players. I kept this lot unbalanced. Dribble less often because I'm the same as Kev. Dribbling's just crap. There's no point turning it off. And if I've got someone who's really good dribbling, I'll tell them in the individual instructions to dribble. Here, I have played around with this a lot in a lot of formations. And this one was, I'm playing 4-3-3 attack. Why would I play balanced? So I went attack. Play all out attack on this one.
Love that.
And on this, just kept these in the middle. There was no need to. I'm the same as you guys here as well. I barely, these are usually always the same.
Yeah.
And then I did clear the ball often because I love it. I only really play out of defense if I've got. I'm the same as Kev. Like if I'm doing controlled, then this makes a lot of sense. If I'm not doing controlled, then this just it doesn't have the effect you think it does. Like you think you're just going to be hoofing it away, and they kind of do, but it sort of works. It's the way it works the way crossing works. I think. Like it happens so often that a goal will come from it. This is you clear the ball so much, you're just avoiding giving them a chance. So I swear by this. I swear by this all the time. I love this little instruction down there.
I think you're like me. You would usually pair it with direct.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So for the goalkeeper instructions, again, controlled play out of defence because I don't want him hoofing it long. The two fullbacks, I kept the same. I wanted them cross more often, and I put these guys on balance just to give a little bit more protection when defending. It seemed to work for me. They're both the same. For the defenders, I put him on conservative only because he's got low passing, but they're both on low and more defensive. As you can see, I didn't do it with this guy because he's got slightly better passing. So that's okay. For the two midfielders, just put them both to balanced. I don't believe I did anything else with these guys. Yeah, I just put them to balance to keep them in the middle of the pitch. For the cam, he's a bad shooter, so take less long shots. I want him dribbling more often because he's got good dribbling and risky passing there. We're already on more offensive, so I didn't need to change that. For my right wing, take more long shots. Other than that, I didn't do anything. But again, that's take more long shots just because he's got good shooting. For the other side, it's changed because he's different. He's not as good at shooting, but he's really good at passing. So I told him to cross more often. No other change there. And my striker, I didn't even touch. Just let him do his thing. And like I say, as the results, it worked for me. The only loss I had was against a bloody diamond team that I shouldn't have done. But yeah, it's like I say, it's just it seems very easy to get right. So if you're a new player and you're like, oh, I can't get a tactic, I can't find anything that works, try 4-3-3-A. Like maybe not in the upper levels, but in the lower levels, this will clean up for you. This will absolutely clean up for you.
Yeah, totally agree. The one thing I would say is I've never thought 4-3-3-A is OP, but other 4-3-3s are.
Right. Okay.
So
D, I presume.
That's maybe for another tactics corner for
Yeah.
you boys. Yeah, well, do you want me to say which one I think it is?
Is it false nine? Is either false nine or D?
That is very good as well, false nine, but no, the D,
Yeah.
4-3-3-D is very OP. 4-3-3-A isn't because of the defensive frailties, but
Yeah, I can
it's
see.
so much fun.
I can see how, like I said, after playing so many, I can see how I can stop it.
Yeah.
So I can imagine up in the upper levels, other managers are going to know as well. So it's not going to be as effective.
Yeah.
But when you're playing random people who sit and forget, and you're going to kill most teams, I think.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, that's the interesting one I've seen up and down the leagues. You see certain formations being played at certain regularity, which obviously sort of shows that either A, people are attracted to those styles of play for whatever reason, it's just a familiar formation they feel like they can set up, or it's just the easier ones to get right. But I completely agree, Bruce. The further you go up the pyramid, or those one or two games a season against a very experienced manager who knows his way around and has got tactical flexibility, that's the nuance to the game as you start getting into it, is working out, okay, what does work? How do I get my head round the engine to put my team in the best position? And what works well against what? And then playing that sort of tactical chess game every single time that you go for. Like Kev says, you're rock, paper, scissors. It's just harder and harder to do the further up the pyramid you go. So often don't have as much players at your disposal. Yeah, you just don't have as much. I mean, I remember going on the Wender podcast and they were talking about, I think it was last season, OMF Legends. And I was they was asking for my analysis and saying, well, it's easy for me to sit and say, oh, they need loads of tactical flexibility. When you think about the cost of the players in those divisions, I don't think many people have got the deep enough pockets to do it. And those that do, you can see it this season, it seems to be working well for them.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
I think at that point it was about $3,000 a Lego. So yeah, it's expensive if you need to pivot at that level. So
very much so, very much so. So So we're getting towards the end of the pod now. What we like to do for the end of the pod is, if anybody wants to show their agency and just go through any sort of progression over the last week or even the season, if you want to call anyone out, you're welcome to do so. And equally, we'll just touch base on our pack challenge where we did our common to rare or more and see if there's been any progression. Newsflash for mine, a bit of a spoiler. Mine's had the week off. He's not done anything after last week's progression of two ratings in 2 days. Tier broke, went the extra mile the next week, and then Ed gave him the week off. Don't blame him. He's pulling up stumps in mine in this challenge at the moment. So, any of you boys want to shout out anybody from your agency in particular you want to show us for a progression?
A good one. I'm on.
Let's go for it. Jump in.
I'm on Lego Watch. Okay, this is some great news for me.
Lego Watch.
This guy is a hero. It's absolutely Lego Watch, 100%. This is it's any day now. So we'll go down here, and I've talked about him on the pod before, because it's coming, guys. Here he is, Halvard Grand, in his 4th season. He's got a +1 to dribbling, and he finally went up to a 68 overall. Basically,
and you're
Lego
selling him.
It's basically Lego Watch. He's done. He's moved. He's finally done something. And when I saw that in the morning, because it was on training, I was like, what's going on? He's a Lego already. He may as well be, because it's going to be a couple of weeks before that just goes move now. So yeah, I'm very, very pleased to finally see that after having him for so long. But yeah,
I think you might find the FA going to be asking to pee in a cup soon.
Maybe that is such. He's basically a rocket. That's how well he's done. Last 7 days, I don't think. Oh yeah, Sandberg got a +1. Moskalenko is now up to a 79. I bought him at a 77 at the start of the season, so he's +2 for the season. Oh, well, let me just show that. Yeah, he's +2 for the season now, which I'm quite happy about. I will give it a shout out because I've got a guy on loan at Mamba, and he was just supposed to be a backup centre mid for me to just rotate in. And I hope he's absolutely buzzing about this, because he is the best player in his agency. Where is he? There he is. He's gone up +3. And there was one game where when he first started moving, it was after the game, he had +1, +1, +1, +1, +1 after one game. And I've never, ever seen that before. And yeah, he's just keeps going. So Logan 11111, I hope you are absolutely buzzing about this. Obviously, I can't because it's not my player. It's like I see him go up and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh, he's not my player. Damn. So I hope you are absolutely buzzing about that, because yeah, he's going up quite nicely so far this season. So I just wanted to give him a shout out. As for my my common to rare, I think everyone's had a week off this week, because my guy has done nothing. Literally nothing. He's been playing games. He hasn't even got any more stats, I think. But yeah, he's still a 52. He's done absolutely nothing. His energy, the guy's not managing his energy very well, but at least he's getting games. And he's not under 60%. So
he's been a naughty boy.
Experience. Yeah, but his stats haven't moved in terms of assists and goals or anything. But he's getting games. He's just not gone up, which is a shame. But yeah,
loves a 2-footed tackle.
Yeah.
How about yourself, Kev? Any players that you want to call out?
Yeah, let's do it. So yeah, we'll start there. Right, so I'll share my screen.
Because everyone loves progression in this game, so everyone just likes to see other people's progression, and also in some cases want to see what's realistic. Because obviously you see on social media everyone posting those that are just like rocketing to the moon, like Bruce's first guy. But yeah, it's nice to see sort of that steady eddies.
Yeah, you've got to love progression. That's obviously one of everyone's favourite things. But no, I wanted to start the ramble because look at this for the season. This is really impressive. It's very nearly the whole squad has had a +1 or more.
Nice.
So, and then the ones that haven't had, as you can see, they've all got loads of individual stat increases. So, yeah, I think come the end of the season, virtually everyone from the ramble will get a +1. So that's really cool as well. But if I go to, I'll go to my HQ and show you my guys. So, do you use the MFL Leaks plugin, guys? Do you ever use that?
I don't.
I have done. I do, but I turn it off. I turn it on and off.
Right, yeah, I don't always use it, but the great thing about it is this bit. So it shows you how much they need to get to the next level.
Yeah. How many
So
more
that's really
stats
cool.
they need, isn't it?
Is that accurate?
It is, mate, yeah, it's spot
Yeah.
on.
It's
Oh,
not like
So,
how much XP they've got, is it, Kev? As I understand, it's like how many stats they need to become the next
yeah,
tier of overall. Yeah.
right.
yeah. So this guy Robson, he's obviously at 0 as an 84 because he just turned 84. So yeah, it's really, really accurate. It's really cool. As you can see, Wickman is, one individual stat or whatever that is away from becoming Lego. So that's
Hmm.
really cool as well. Malteni, who's my golden boy, he's my star boy. Packed him very first rare pack I ever had. So yeah, love this guy. He only came out as a 78, was it? Yeah, 78. So he's only went up +6. But what I love about him, I've got to show you, is this. What is it? This one? Yeah. Look at that.
Oh,
The
wow.
lad's a demon. Yeah,
Oh,
scores
God.
goals at every single level. What's that, mate?
I was going to say, yeah, wow. Like, goal scorer.
Yeah. Well, as you can see, S4, that was his season. That was in bronze. 28 league goals in 16 games in bronze. So yeah, we won the league that season as well. So that was really cool. Yeah, so just wanted to focus on him for a minute, just because I love him a bit. Yeah, hopefully he becomes Lego very, very soon. So going back here, yeah, there was a couple of guys I wanted to show you on progression, but I just wanted to just scroll down this first because it's really cool when you look at all this bit in the middle that I was just talking about. So it just shows you how far away they are at a glance, which is really, really fun. As you can see, there's loads of them that are nowhere near it. There's a couple that are close and so on. But if I go progression for the season, now I was going to sell this guy. I had him listed, and then I thought, well, um, loan him to what is the guy's name again? Maidstone Mags. Can't remember the guy's Doddsy. Yeah, Doddsy, that's his name. So yeah, I loaned him there, and I thought, well, because I think he went plus. I think he went +1 straight away, and now he's +4. And look at that, he's just looking incredible. +4 already this season. +3 for this guy as well. Loaned him out. Loads of +2s. And what a
Sharing it on
really
screen, Kev. I think.
oh, sorry guys. Yeah, I had to be
All right.
flicking between tabs. Sorry about that, boys.
It's all right.
Never used Riverside before, so I'm quickly getting used to it now, though. Right, so yeah, sorry, I was on my HQ in another tab. But right, so yeah, this guy here though, +4 for the season, incredible considering I was going to sell him because he's potentially going to be my best progressor. Hopefully ever. You never know. But no, what I really love is this bit here. The +1 for the 86, 85, 84. So there's a lot of the
Nice.
top guys getting progression. So that's been really cool as well. And yeah, I've heard a lot of complaints about progression this season, but for me, it's probably about the 25-30% of the agency mark that I've got a +1. So yeah, I'm quite happy with it, to be honest.
I think as well at the top end where you are with the Legos, a +1 is like a +3 for an uncommon.
Yeah.
It's a big deal as a +1. So yeah, that's very, very good.
So I
I just
think it's been solid progression.
yeah. Is it dead for you this second half? Because I know a lot of people have been talking about it seems to be down. Have you found it down?
It's not been as good as it has been in previous seasons. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't notice a huge difference because what I would usually go on is roughly it would be between 40 and 50% of your agency would get a +1 on average over a season. That's how I found it anyway. So I'm
Yeah.
probably that sort of 30% mark with what 20% of the season to go, 25%, whatever it is. So I think come the end of the season, that's the right time to judge it. And I think by then, most of us will be on probably that 40 to 50% mark by then. So I think a few of us will get some really good days coming up where a few of your players just burst and fly. So let's judge it at the end of the season. That's what I would say.
I was gonna say the same thing because it's like I'll have some days when nothing happens, and I'm like, oh, progression's dead. It's all, and then the next day I'll get a couple of guys with a +1, and it's like you said, you've got to wait till the end of the season and judge it there because that's when you'll get the actual picture of what your progression looks like. And yeah, it usually pans out like, oh, it's actually been all right. It's actually quite balanced to what you were expecting. But in the middle, you're like, oh, I've had no progression today. This is shit. Like progression's dead. Like, so
I
Yeah,
think for
100%.
me, yeah, for me this season it's down on last season, but what I'd counter that with is last season I had very strong teams in the leagues they were in, and they were performing well. Whereas this season it's been more of a challenge, it's been more of a battle of the teams that I've owned with my players in for various reasons. So match rating's taken a bit of a hit comparatively to the previous season. So I think that's also factors in has to be factored in there as well. And if you've got the players for a certain number of seasons, every player's got an upper limit of how much they can actually progress anyway. So you're just seeing a bit of a plateau. Have they not quite reached their prime just yet? Because I've seen examples of players like snail's pace. They hit what I consider is their prime age, and all of a sudden, bing, 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 bing. You just start seeing the stats.
I'm glad you said that because that's exactly what my next point was. There was just so many factors to it,
Mm. Yeah,
Maybe
there's going
if
to be
you've had,
loads.
yeah, well, maybe if you've had a season where progressions flew, maybe that's because half your agency were all at prime age, you know?
Hmm.
Maybe they were all getting max XP in the right league. So if you've been relegated, promoted, they're past their prime age, there's so many factors to it. And it's
Yeah,
not
and if
linear. It's never meant to be linear.
no,
So
I think also if you've got a team that is very overpowered for your league, well, effectively they're playing against poor opposition, so they're going to take a match rating penalty on that in terms of experience. So there's so many factors, and anybody, I've said this to the blue in the face, if you've not read the white paper and understand it, do. You just got to read it because I don't mind answering the questions about it. Absolutely fine. But I'll always direct them to it because there's always going to be more. If you haven't read it, there's going to be something you haven't considered. So yeah, I'll do mine super, super quick because it's not been like pulling up loads of trees this season in terms of progression. So if I just go for progression and we'll go for current season, what I did have is a number of the players that were on the cusp of getting towards tier breaking to ultimate. I've got +1s on a right back and a left mid. I quite like this player, Alwisi. But he's gone up to 84 this season. As you can see here, quite a number of stats away from getting where he wants to be, and he's only picked up 2 stats over the course of the season. But it's been a tough season up in silver, but we're managing it. I was hoping the chap I got at the start of the season was going to get a bit more progression than this, but so far this season, where is he now? He's got +2 in his physical, which he does need, but he's not really ticking up yet. But he's only 23. We've got to go for prime age yet, and he has struggled in bronze. And I do think the physicality has a big bearing on that. So while he's 82 rated, I haven't always got my tactics right, and I do find he just gets bullied out of a few games. He's got a number of low 6s and a couple of 5 point whatever ratings in a number of games now. This guy was minted quite late. It was minted at 28, but he's just keeps ticking over. Every time he seems to play, he gets some sort of stat increase. Kovac got a +1 this season. The 19-year-old centre back I got last season that's now 20. He's finally got a +1. So he's up to 81 rated. And then I've got a couple of guys that I've picked up recently because I suspected this guy that I've just picked up recently was on the cusp of another rating break, and as you can see, very close to it as well. But other than that, it's not been full, the entire agency of +1s. There's a few +3s, but there's lots of dev centre guys out on loan. My commenter rare player who's an absolute beast, going up +2, putting the others to shame. And then yeah, it's been fairly steady, but I've had a big overhaul with the agency this season. And I'm just in this weird spot now where I've got sort of players from this sort of spot downwards where I'm like, don't know what to do with you. And I think I might be looking to find some new homes, and this might be one of them. But it's a tricky one to say whether it's a good idea or not.
he's lovely. What a
I
player.
know he is, and he's made a bit of progression. He's very close to going to 73. He's out on loan at one of the shared owners in the silver team that I do. He's out on loan at his team at the moment. Whereabouts are they now? They're a stone team, so it's a good level for him. He starts there, fine, no problem. My view at the moment, though, is say he goes up 3 or 4 over the course of his career. I am really swallowing a big potential sort of financial inlet for me that I could reinvest and put elsewhere. Or I sit on him and hope that he does, because if he does, he'll be an absolute flyer. But I'm really torn as to what to do with him. I keep flip-flopping whether I keep him or I sell him. So if you've got any thoughts, boys, I'd very much welcome them because I just don't know what to do with this chap.
That is such an age-old dilemma that I've had as well.
Yeah.
And I've said this on previous pods where, so this guy's an example, right? 72 rated, 17-year-old. So if you sold him at the peak of the pricing, you would have got a fortune for this guy, right?
Yeah.
Now, or if you go, so say you go for a 27-year-old, 79 rated guy, you'll pay a fraction of what he would sell for, and you get the finished article now for the division you're after, So that's kind of the camp where I'm in. I would sell the kid, buy the cheaper guy, bank the profit, and have the ready-made guy. Because what's the chances that he's going to explode?
That's my view on this. It's like he could take off. He could go up +10. He goes up +10. He's an 82. Great. How long does it take to get there? And could I do with the financial windfall now? And my view is yes. I picked up a new left back, actually. I'm sure I did. Yeah. 25 years old, 80 rated, and 80 overall. I feel like I should get more for the left back than 80, but pricing him is nigh on impossible. I just cannot find what the price should be. I actually threw him up for 200 at one point during the mid-season window and got not a single sniff.
See, you would have when we were in that Nep Laird boom, you would have got many sniffs for him at that sort of price.
I would have been whoring him out, just seeing what I could have got for him. But I mean, he's 17, so maybe not. So let's say he was 18. That sounds more PC. I suppose whoring anyone out's not very PC. Anyway, anywhoozy, I just feel like I think I am leaning in the camp of sell, but begrudgingly.
I was just going to say, so my advice on him, now obviously, do your own thing, listen to other people as well.
Not financial advice.
Well, my advice, financial or not, is to keep him just because the market's dead.
Yeah.
So, and I do think that market will recover. I do think pricing will recover.
I do.
I'm not sure it'll get back to where it was, but it's definitely going to increase. That's my belief anyway.
Same.
But all it takes is another boom, and then we're back up to where we were. Now, if we're in that boom, I would say sell him, because you'd get a ridiculous price for him. But yeah, it's just that case of, do you take the gamble and keep him? Does he boom? Does he become a Lego or whatever? Or do you cash in on him while he's so young and just, get a ready-made guy now sort of thing?
So basically, you've not helped me make a decision in the slightest, but very wise words. I appreciate it, Kev.
No, I'd like to have. My take is to keep him. That's what I would say. In this current market, I'd keep him. So,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, before Kev said that, I was going to say I agree with everything Kev said initially, but I was going to play devil's advocate and then basically say what Kev just said. So it's like the market is low, and if we have another boom, if you sell him now and then we do have another boom, which like Kev said, I think it's going to come again. The prices will go back up, and then you're going to be sat there like, shit, I've missed out on an extra $100, $200 that I could have got for him. I think sit on him for a couple of seasons, get him in a team that like the guy you've got, your friend who is going to play him regularly, maybe more regularly, like as many games as you possibly can. Judge him over a couple of seasons, because if he comes into next season and rockets up +5, suddenly the interest is going to be there to buy him, even in this current market, because they're going to be like, oh, look at his progression. He's 17. Look at that progression. I'd give it a couple of seasons. If we do hit a boom suddenly out of nowhere, sell him, like Kev said, absolutely, and buy the finished article, which is something I've been doing. But then, not right now. It's just not the right time. It's not a seller's market. I'd wait.
My sort of business financial brain looks at that, and I agree with the points you're making. So at the moment, market's low. what I get from him is probably less than it would have been during the boom. And we're saying, wait to sell him when the market's up.
Not necessarily. Yeah, yes and no.
Because who I would buy equally will go up in terms of price.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's the bit I'm playing with.
The good thing, and I agree with everything Bruce just said, but the good thing about that is if you take that advice, our advice, he might progress in that time frame. You know, he might fly, and then he's worth even more as an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
And then the boom kicks, and you'll get $400, $500. So
yeah.
So what you're all saying is Dev Center for 4 seasons at the end of the season.
Oh my! What would he cost to put in the Dev Center?
He would cost.
I actually want to know. But I daren't do it in the mid-season. I didn't trust myself. So it's just like, I can't sell him. I just plug him in.
Check, you know?
I don't think so because the window's closed. I don't think we're able to. Yeah, because I would like to just to see what it is, but he won't let me do it. But anyway, I think we've kept you for long enough, Kevin. Stuff. So what we'll do there. Go.
I just because I know it's a little bit of a competition between this common to rare or more.
It's not really a competition right now, but go ahead.
Well, Root's here, and we usually go week to week. Who wins week? I won the first week. You won last week, and this week Root's actually had a +1 on his guy.
It doesn't count because he's not here.
I was about to say that. He can't win. He's not here.
No.
So it's still 1-0 to us, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But Root did get a +1 on his guy, but it doesn't matter because he's still on 0 because he chose his wife over the pod.
Yeah, you can't be choosing that over MFL. Sorry,
right?
Nil point in terms of points for Root. I can live with that. I can. Anyway, before we wrap things up formally and tell you about next week, I just want to take a moment to say thank you, Kev. I appreciate your time. We've kept you for far longer. As I warned you that we intended to do so, but we really do appreciate your time today. Thanks for jumping on with us.
Absolute pleasure, boys. Thanks for having me. But just before we go, can I just give you a laugh about something?
Let's do it. Is it at Root's expense?
No, it's absolutely at my expense. That's for damn sure.
Oh, okay, that works as well.
So, let me share this screen. Yep. So you mentioned obviously. What is the segment that you call it? Is it common to
rare or more?
Common to rare, right? So I saw that obviously, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to get involved in that. Just
nice.
You know, why the hell not? Yeah, unfortunately, I got this guy though, so it's absolutely a laugh at my expense.
Could you not just do a mulligan and just go again? Not him.
So yeah, I wanted to let you know, boys, you've pulled something way better than me, you know. So there you go.
Well, I imagine we'll probably repeat it going into next season because it's a nice, easy little pack challenge. And we have also been discussing the idea of us creating our own shared ownership sort of side for the pod and stuff. So look to maybe start further down the pyramid, don't we think, Bruce? Down in Flint?
I think we should start at Flint and just work our way up. I think that's
a great show. Yeah,
and we need a Yorkshire-based license. And a Yorkshire-based license.
Has to be a
Yorkshire
license.
It's not Hull.
No, I'm from that. I was born there. Fully agree.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that.
Anyway, let's leave it there. We've kept you for far too long, Kev, and I'm sure that the listeners are thinking, are they ever going to finish this pod this week? So, first of all, thank you very much for listening, guys. Thank you for all the support. We've been getting an unprecedented amount of support. Lots of comments, lots of feedback. Hopefully, you're happy with the volume levels this week. We are doing our best. But next week, we're going to be continuing with Tactics Corner. If you do have a particular tactic that you want us to go into the week testing, let us know, because we'll jump on that. I'm probably going to stick to the current season engine. Anyone else, if you want to go on experimental, be my guest. Totally fine. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll be recording and producing and putting out the podcast at the same time next week. But until next week, thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.